Hey, what's up, guys? So, kind of short notice on this one. I can see there's one person here, but hopefully a few more people join in and we can kick things off. So, still trying to get this whole hang of the live thing and how we're going to coordinate it, but I think it's a cool feature, and we'll try to make best use of it. But yeah, if you guys join in, just drop a line there, a hello, a hey, or a question, and we'll kick this thing off. So let me get this going here. I got a couple things. I got the camera here and I got my laptop here. I'm gonna try to at least have a screen so I can see a little bit better, because trying to stare at my little camera right here on my phone and read comments is a little bit hard. So bear with me. I'm getting this whole thing set up. So what's up, Marco? What's up, Mark? Sell me your Viper. All right, sold. All right, give me a sec while I set up this this whole thing here. Let's see. How does this work here? Live control room. All right. This thing is so strange, you guys. I don't expect you to know this, but trying to coordinate this two things, I got the laptop here and it shows something completely different than what's on there. So I'm just getting the hang of it. So you guys are gonna have to bear with me. And they don't there's no testing or trial that you can actually do a live with. It's just live is live, and once you turn it on, it's on. So let me answer some questions here. Maybe I'll put the computer here so I'm not staring completely opposite direction. We'll get this going. All right, so Marco says, what's up? Ivan says, how much would you sell the mods for the truck? We're modding the truck, or unmodding it soon. I'm not too sure. I'm gonna piece it out and part it out bit by bit. So I don't know exactly how to tell you what each part would be, but once we pull everything off, I'm just gonna put prices on each component and stuff, whether it's a supercharger or the lowering springs, with the shocks that it comes with the Beltec shocks, and then the QA1s or QA1s, Q1A, I don't know. Having a brain fart, but QA1s, those will get separate, and we'll just kind of bit by bit. So I'm not going to sell everything as a whole Boosted Motorsports hell ram package. So yeah, well, I'll end up putting prices on each thing individually. So what else? Mark says, sell me your Viper. So I think the Viper's staying. I don't know. I feel like I confused some people with the last video where we were joking around taking it to CarMax. We're not selling it as of yet. I don't think I will. Only reason why I would sell it is maybe to get a newer Viper, but I've said this a few times in old videos. I don't want to keep repeating myself for those of you guys who have been around for a while, but I've replaced just about everything on the Viper. So I will say this with complete confidence. There's nobody that's done as much work to their Gen 2 as far as refreshing it than I have. I literally replaced almost everything on that. It's all up to 2018, 2019 specs. So I could run through that list of stuff if you guys are interested, but I'm telling you, I've literally replaced everything on that thing. So it's right up to almost a new car as far as what I've replaced on that thing. Choi says, what's up, bro? I just got done looking at the video you shared on Facebook about the guy in the chair. Oh yeah. That was that Asian, the Street Outlaws. That was insane. If you guys haven't checked that out, if you're on Facebook, we have a Boosted Motorsports group on Facebook, and there's a video of this guy that straps 2 NOS bottles to an office type chair, but it's a racing chair, but it's the one where you can spin around on it. And they put 2 NOS bottles facing opposite directions, and they lit that crap off, and the thing just started spinning, and the guy just ragdolls. It's insane. It's a really old video. I think it's a really old video, but it's hilarious. If you haven't seen it, check it out. But yeah, maybe I should probably let you guys know. There is a Boosted Motorsports group on Facebook, if you guys use Facebook at all. We have the Boosted Motorsports page and the group, and a lot of chit-chat stuff can go on there that's maybe a little bit more interactive than YouTube, because sometimes people are only here when they're watching the video and then they're gone. So check that out if you guys are on Facebook. Paulin says, say AP. I think he means what's up. What's up, Paulin? Sam says, hey, how are you today? Anything you plan on talking about specifically tonight? It's kind of just an open chat. I'm going to talk a little bit about where we're at with the truck, what we're doing with that, the Viper, and obviously the new build that we're talking about. So I'll get into that here shortly. I just want to run through some of these comments, and I'll definitely touch on those topics tonight. Rusty said, yo, Boosted, what's good? Just hanging out, man. Friday, the weekend's here, and I'm hoping we can get this thing to the track tomorrow. So that's what's good. Marco says, one sick Ram. Yeah, it's definitely, I mean, for a Ram, a 4th gen, for a big, heavy girl like it is, it's definitely pretty impressive. I mean, I'm speaking for myself, but I think it's pretty fast for what it is. Without being a full-blown race truck, just bolt-ons. I've never opened the motor, so it truly is just bolt-ons with supercharger and stuff. It doesn't even have a cam in it. I think it's pretty quick. What else we got? Eduardo says, what's up? What's up, Eduardo? Jose, dude, have you had trouble with water leaks on your Ram 3rd light? I haven't, honestly. Well, I'm gonna catch myself with my foot in my mouth here. It doesn't really rain too much down here, but lately it's been raining a ton, but it's been in the garage. I just drive my daily beater, my Jetta, so that's what sees most of the rain. But I know this light here, this 3rd brake light, is very prone to leaking. If you guys don't know, I believe Ram came up with an updated seal. I've heard people say it still doesn't fix it, but they do have an updated seal. Or just take it off if you're out of warranty and put some silicone around it and put it back on, because otherwise your headliner and your whole back seat will get filled with water, allegedly. So let's see what else we got. Bro, send a shout out, AJ. I don't know what that means. Shout out to AJ from Polini, or Poland. David says, do the backseat lights, please. Nobody else has done it. I believe in you. Yeah, I think you're talking about the backseat lights, the ones that go underneath the seats. Depending on how much we keep this truck or how long we keep the truck, I'll definitely tackle it. But I'm never back there, so I don't really care about the back seat lights. But yeah, I'll definitely look into it. If it's something easy I think I can tackle, then I'll tackle it for you guys. Rusty, out of all your cars, trucks, which is your favorite and which is the daily? Ooh, that's a tough one. I've liked them all like in different ways. So that's one of the reasons why I don't want to get rid of the Viper necessarily, because it's a rare model. I've always wanted one growing up, and I tend to, you guys probably already noticed, I do things, I get bored of them, and then I move on. So same as the truck, I'm kind of like bored with it in a way, and I want to just try a new project. It's refreshing for me. Hopefully it's going to be refreshing for you guys watching the channel, but I did that same thing with another car. I put so many hours into it. I know you guys might laugh, but it was a Honda S2000, and it was a 4-cylinder, actually it was 2.2 liter. It was making almost 700 horsepower, or actually over 700. It made almost 610 at the wheel. And that thing was just nuts. We were racing street bikes with that thing, and it would walk away from a 1,000cc street bike. Like, it was nuts. So I was just completely over that build because there was nothing more to do to it really, and sold it, and then kind of regret it down the road. And if it ever, the guy that I sold it to still has it in the same setup that I sold it in. So if he ever sells it, I might pick it back up. So I kind of just don't want to get caught in that situation. Ram's a little bit different. This is just bolt-ons. I know I've been documenting a lot of stuff that I've done to it, but I really don't feel like it was that much work putting it together. I mean, if I wanted to get another Ram, bolt on a supercharger, it wouldn't really be a big deal to do it all over again. But if we were going to do it all over again, we would definitely get a lighter one, that's for sure. What else we got? What do you think of the vet? Sorry, this thing's skipping around. Do a 6.4 swap. I was almost going to do a 6.4 swap. I found one for cheap that was local. It was, what the heck was it? It was like, I want to say it was like $2,500 or $3,000. It was really cheap, but didn't come with a warranty and might have been questionable, so I didn't spring for it, and I really didn't have the cash at the time to be dropping that kind of money, but it almost got done to this truck. Frank, okay, fine, keep the Viper, get rid of the Ram, and get a Challenger Hellcat and mod it. I've thought about that. Only thing is there is a ton of Hellcat content on YouTube. So if I were to get a Hellcat and, you know, do the same mods or make content, There's already so much out there. Like you guys already know the channels that have Hellcat content. It doesn't matter if it's Street Speed 717, who did a bunch of mods, you know, exhaust and resonator deletes, to SRT Mush, who he had Hellcat stuff, and now he's on the Demon. I mean, you know, whether you guys like the other guy, a tall guy, car reviews, he's good at Hellcat. There's just so many people at Hellcat, not discrediting them, but there's just a lot of Hellcat channels, so I'd want to do something slightly different. I've looked, I know a lot of the guys on here are Mopar, but at the same time, I've looked and I haven't really seen too many C7 builds broken down into chunks and reviews like we have with the truck. So I want to be somebody that can do that for that world, because as those cars start getting cheaper, more people will start picking them up and start doing the same thing. Only other thing, I don't even want to say it because I know everybody will hate me if I say it, but if we got a different truck, like a different brand of truck, and did the same thing we did with this, but I think everybody would go crazy if I did that, so I'm not going to do it. But what I'm going to do is we'll kind of take a pause from the 4th gen, since I've covered, in my opinion, I've covered a lot of the content on that. I'm going to bring my 3rd gen on here, hopefully later this year. Once I kind of make some space, get rid of this, we can bring the 3rd gen here. The 3rd gen is a 2005 Ram SRT10 single cab standard. So I do have that. I haven't shown it on the video because it's thousands of miles located away, and I'm here and without space with it. So once we get this thing pushed out, hopefully sold, we'll bring the SRT10 on here, and that'll be the 3rd gen. I'll do a bunch of content on the 3rd gen. And then once the 4th gen has a few years into it, 4th gen Ram, then we'll get the 4th gen, or 4th gen, why am I saying that? 5th gen Ram, so the 2019 Plus, we'll get the new Ram on here once it's a few years in. And we'll start doing the same videos for the 5th gen as we did for this. Reason why I'm holding off on the 5th gen too is because the 5th gen Ram right now just has the exact same power plant as this one. It's almost identical. There's really no difference, and I don't think it's worth the upgrade just yet, because mark my words, they're going to put a different power plant in that 5th gen. So whether they do something with a Hellcat power plant, which there's rumors of, or something different, there will be a different engine option for that, and I'll wait for that to come out before we, you know, start experimenting with 5th gen Ram. Jazz says, love the Viper. 100% agree. Yeah, I like the Viper too. It's like a love-hate relationship with that car. So it's one of those things where you drive it, you like driving it for a short period of time, and then you want to get the hell out of it, because it is, in the summertime, it's like a sweat box. You guys probably saw in the last video when we drove to CarMax, like if you hit like the smallest bump, you're like shaking all over it. To even film in that thing, like whether you mount the camera or somebody's holding a camera, it's like jiggling all over the place. It's a fun experience, but it's definitely a crude, pure race car that's somehow street legal is what those are from the factory. So Mark Nelson says, I call dibs on the Viper. All right, well, you know what the famous saying is, everything's for sale for a price. So if you guys are truly interested in some of these things, whether it's the truck or the whatever, you guys know how to get a hold of me. Life with Art. Hey, what's up? Steven Peterson, I am new to the channel. Do you race your Ram truck? Yes, Steven. So you can probably tell the number on the back here. We've taken it to the track a bunch of times. So check out the older videos. We got a bunch of 1/8 mile, 1/4 mile, and we're hopefully it's raining right now, literally. Hopefully, if the rain dies off and holds off for tomorrow, we will go to the track tomorrow. Drive shaft loop is on there. That's why it's still on the lift right now. And hopefully we can run with the slicks and set a good time. That's the idea. I'm not huge as far as my overall knowledge on tracks, but I have to at least think that the fact that it's been raining for like weeks on end probably won't be the best track conditions for tomorrow. I don't know if that matters, but I could just assume that having rain for that long, there's got to be some sort of moisture or prep that's actually on the pavement surface. So we'll see if we're able to put down the times we want to, but we'll try. What else we got? What diameter are your shorties? I'm guessing you mean shorty headers. I'm not sure, actually. They're just JBA shorties. Whatever the diameter of that is, I want to say they're like maybe 1 7/8, somewhere around there. I don't really know, to be honest, off the top of my head. What will be your next project when you sell the Ram? So, Doug, the next project is supposed to be, I don't know, maybe we'll discuss that right now. My plan is to get a 2015 to current Corvette Z06. And here's the reasons. I want to get that car because it is light, has 650 horsepower, 650 foot-pounds of torque, stock. It's supercharged, forged internals, and some guys are making over 900 wheel horsepower just with some simple bolt-ons. So they're doing like E85, a pulley swap, bigger injectors, a few other things, and they're like killing it. So if we got one of those, we can take to the drag strip. It would be fast in a straight line. Also, it handles well. I can take it to some of the road course stuff, which I've been missing out on and frankly miss because I like doing that stuff. And we can do both with it. And it'll actually be light. So only big thing is whether I'm gonna go automatic or standard. If I go with the standard, 7-speed shifter, yes, it's, more whatever you want to call it. And some people will say like that's the one to get, but at the same time, the automatic is faster. So if you're taking to the drag strip, automatic, you just can't beat it. But at the same time, the automatic suffers with overheating issues at a road course. So that's the trade-off. You get the automatic, you would destroy people at the drag strip. You get the standard 7-speed, and you can actually track it, but you won't be as fast at the strip. So that's where we're at. I've contemplated some other builds. I've just been cruising Craigslist and stuff like that too. There's some super cheap, like you could get we could get an old not crusty Corvette, but like maybe like a C5, like a maybe 99 to like 03-ish. And, pull the motor out, put something crazy in there, go to the drag strip with that. Or we could get, you guys will probably laugh, but there's some Mustangs, some 5 liters that are dirt cheap on there too, like some of the older ones that we could just like gut it and go crazy with it. So one of the things you gotta remember is if we get one of these cheap, like maybe 10,000, I don't know, $5,000 to $10,000 cars, we could just go crazy with the mods because obviously the budget will be a little bit better. But if we get like this newer Corvette, it's gonna have to be pretty like stringent on what we mod it with. It's gonna be fun, it's gonna be fast, but I'm just, full disclosure, you're gonna have to be a little bit more spendy with what we get because that car is gonna be expensive to purchase up front. I kind of want to get one that's smashed if I can get one at an auction, one that's punched in the front, rebuild it. I know there's a ton of channels that are doing that, but it would save more money up front and then we could spend more money on mods. But the crappy thing about doing it that way is you can't finance something like that. You have to pay for it in cash up front. So without selling the Viper, I don't have that extra cash up front to do that. Let's answer some more questions. Jas says, nice, watching from Vancouver, BC. Jas, welcome all the way from British Columbia. Adam, how much did putting the headers on the truck help? I made a video. It says, you guys can probably check the thumbnail. It says like 27 miles per gallon. I found that it helped my gas mileage right off the bat, and just driving around without tuning it, like putting headers on and tuning it for the headers are like two different things. So I just had a cans tune at the time. I put the headers on, I got better gas mileage, and I noticed in the pedal, like you had to push the pedal less for the truck to move. So it felt like there was more available power and you didn't have to step on it as much to get the same output. But that was just with the can tune. If you did the headers and then got them tunes for the headers, you'd probably notice a decent amount. It's not gonna be like anything ridiculous, but it will be a decent amount. I don't know if I could put a number on it off the top of my head, maybe 20 horsepower or something like that, if on the higher end, I think. For shorties, long tube is a different story, but the shorties, I would throw it around there. I would say around 20 horse if I had to guess. What else? Where will you be at the track tomorrow? Irwindale? No, it's actually gonna be at Fontana AAA Auto Club. They're doing a open test and tune tomorrow, but this is what kind of sucks. So tomorrow they have open test and tune, but it's street car rules, NHR street class or something like that. And it's kind of stupid. Like they have like very stringent rules. So you can't have like too loud of an exhaust on your vehicle. Otherwise they'll kick you out. So reason why I would be going to that one is like I don't know how picky they're going to be, but I probably can't open the cutout. I'm going to have to run with the cutout closed if we run tomorrow. And the reason why I'm going to run that event, they actually have another one that's on Sunday, which is just straight open test and tune. But the problem with the Sunday one is it's supposed to rain Sunday. So that's where we're at. I'm going to go tomorrow because the weather's good, but not going to be able to open the cutout because otherwise we'll get kicked out. Maybe we'll do it on the last run. If we get a bunch of good runs in with the cutout closed, then the last one we'll just send it. That's what we're going to do. If they kick us out, then we're done for the day anyways. But that's going to be our game plan. So we'll go tomorrow. Hopefully it's raining right now, but if it stops raining, we'll go tomorrow. Hopefully get this thing finally down the track and get the times it deserves. What did you think of the Vet? Did you drive it? Mike, they wouldn't let me drive it without running a credit check. Kind of mixed opinions or feelings on that. I get it because they don't want just somebody coming in there window shopping and going for a joyride. But at the same time, I rolled up in my Viper. I think anybody with a head on their shoulders could probably see that, you know, I could potentially buy that car. But I wasn't going to run my credit because I wasn't ready to do it right that day. But I don't know. It's kind of a weird situation. They didn't let us drive it. It's kind of where I'm going with that. So they let us sit in it, start it, mess around with it, but not drive it unless I ran my credit to see if they could see that I could afford it. But I wasn't, you know, I didn't want to pull my credit down just for a test drive, so I didn't do it. Roman, I'm looking forward to the drag strip in town opening so I can go race. Should I turn traction control off or have it on when I launch? I'm guessing you probably have an RT since your name is Roman RT. You can't, unless you have a tune, you can't fully disable traction control. For a while, I was just turning the traction control off with a button and I could still do my burnouts and everything like that. Just know that when you try to do your burnout, that it's kind of weird, and I don't know if we've ever talked about this, but we can talk about it now. So when you do the burnout with these trucks, you'll hold your brake, you'll give it some gas, you'll hear the wheels start to spin, and then all of a sudden it'll be burning about, and then it'll almost like stop burning out, and you have to like put your foot into it just to get it to go again, and you're almost like flooring the truck, and it does this big burnout, and then you can continue your burnout. So just be aware of that. Like if you try to make sense of it in your head, you just put the brake on and you put your foot on the gas, it'll start burning out and then it'll just stop, and that's the computer overriding you. So you have to pedal it more and then your burnout will continue. So other than that, but for my truck with the supercharger, I've tried both. I've tried like holding the RPM anywhere from 1,500 to $2,000 and launching it, but I've always broke traction. So I've just always held my brake, waited for the last yellow light, even sometimes before the last yellow light, and just stabbed it just from a dig. And that's where I've got my best results so far. So I've cut a pretty good 60-foot time, 1.8. So not bad for that truck. And that's just by holding my foot on the brake and just stabbing it like right before on the last yellow light for sure, maybe even before the last yellow light. That's where I've gotten my reaction from. Because at the same time, you got to figure like this truck is so heavy, even when you gun it, it takes pretty much a minute to get moving. So typically you won't jump the light doing it that way, but that's the way I've been running it. Cammed Motorsports. Sounds like Boosted Motorsports. Where'd your question go? It disappeared. Where you got my area code on my back window? Oh, why? I don't know, but it's coincidence. That's from the last track day. So I honestly haven't driven my truck since the last track day. There's actually still VP octane additive in the tank too. So I wonder how much gas is in. I wonder if I could make it. I gotta double check for tomorrow. Cody K, I had a leak there, but had aftermarket light, used marine silicone. Yeah, apparently the aftermarket lights are more prone to leaking than the stock ones for whatever reason. I think it's just the gasket they provide isn't the best. And then if you put like an aftermarket third brake light in there, it'll end up leaking just because if there's that small difference in tolerances, that's the end of it. Let's see. Raya Dad. Do you have a video for installing interior lights if it's the same in a 2018? So yeah, a lot of people in the comments can probably guide you to those. I can't really type right now, but I have a video for the front lights, the LED version. So the videos that I have are for the LED versions. A lot of people have had issues with the LEDs going out. But I have videos specifically on how to upgrade the LEDs because they're typically like not supposed to be replaceable. If you have just the regular halogens in there, you can pop them out and put replacements. I think they're like T10s or it's like 194 bulb, and you just plug them in. If you have the halogen, if you have the LEDs standard or stock in your vehicle, then you can check out the other videos where I show how to upgrade to LED, both for the front overhead console and for the back dome light. I have both. Mr. J. Magoo, how is your sponsorship going to be affected with the sale of the Ram? It's not, because these guys here, HP Tuners, their software works on just about any vehicle. So you guys can definitely bet that whatever vehicle we're getting next, that thing is getting a tune on it, which is pretty cool. So that's a nice thing with the HP Tuners, is it's not married to one vehicle. You can just, if I have the truck, if I get a Vet, if I get a Hellcat, if I got a Hellcat Red Eye, if I got a Demon, if I get a Camaro, not that I would get a Camaro, but if I got a Camaro, it really doesn't matter. HP Tuners, you can tune pretty much every vehicle with it. So we're set, guys. We're gonna tune just about anything that lands on this channel right now. Donison 707, Sheepy tomorrow? It depends. If I think we're gonna end up trying to hit the track. So if I hit the track, then I'll be at the track. But if not, I'll see you guys at Sheepy. Ken, is there any more you want to do with the Ram, or are you at the limit? Yeah, Ken, I've kind of made this comment before in some of the other videos. So the Ram, I've taken the build as far as I want to go for a practical truck, I guess we can call it, because I've done so much to the truck that I feel I'm at the limit, that if I do much more to the truck, that it's going to end up turning into a race truck. And it's a fully optioned truck. It's a fully loaded sport model, heated seats, cooled seats, automatic wipers, power sliding mirrors or rear window folding mirrors, power mirrors, auto dimming, this, like literally every option it has. So it's a heavy truck with fully optioned, and I just don't want to gut a truck out like that. I'd rather just get like something that's more tailored to racing or lighter, and we'll start there. But it's been fun, don't get me wrong, to take this big fat heavy truck and see how fast we can make it. But honestly, if I was going to do it again, it wouldn't be with the Pro Charger kit. It would probably be a custom turbo kit, because I had to sort some stuff out. Like for the mount that the Pro Charger kit is, they should have it a little more sorted out as far as building the proper boost and just belts and all that stuff. I'm not saying it doesn't work, it does work, but for the price that you're paying, it could be done a little better. Cody K, ever ride bikes anymore? No, I haven't. All my bike stuff is, I don't have it here with me. And honestly, with work and stuff, riding motocross and all that stuff, it's I just don't want to risk getting hurt, because I'm getting older. When you get older, you don't bounce like you used to off the ground. So yeah, I'm trying to steer my racing desires to the track. So the Viper is pretty much up and back and running. There's a couple more things I got to do to it, which I'll share with you guys shortly. I got to replace the thermostat housing gasket because it's seeping a little bit. So I'll show you guys that video. Other than that, the Viper is pretty much ready to go back to track. A couple things. I'll need tires for it. And I also need, I'm sorry, I'm just staring at a picture of it so I can think at the same time. Need tires, and I also am going to need to put the catch can on it, because last time I took it to the track with the catch can, it was, if you were just like a average person taking it to the track, I'm not trying to brag here, but if you're an average person taking a Viper to the track, you're not gonna have an issue. As soon as you put sticky tires on the Viper and you start driving hard with it, me and my buddy were driving in the advanced group last time I went to the track, and it didn't like it. So there's a lot of PCV pressure in these things, and the way it's routed right now, it'll just dump oil into the air box and it'll just take gulps of it. So there's a certain part on the track where we were coming down the hill doing a chicane. Every time I came to the bottom of the track, the thing like would just let out a puff of smoke, and I thought I broke something, but then after digging into it, like after we brought it into the pits, it wouldn't smoke whatsoever. And after doing more digging, and I drove 2 hours home, not even like a cloud or nothing out of it, it ended up being this common issue where with Vipers, they have the PCV openings in the top of the valve covers right at the front of the valve covers. If you guys ever take a look under the hood, or I could show you guys on another video, they're literally, the pickups are right at the front of the valve covers. So if you're hard on the brakes, you have R-comp tires, and coming down a hill makes it even worse. It literally, the engine and everything's going like this, it'll pick up the oil right in the front, and along with the sloshing with you being on the brakes, it'll just take a gulp of oil and then try to shoot it back into the intake. So why they made it like that, I don't know, but that's something I have to address if we go back to track. If it was just autocross, like just, you know, flat in a parking lot doing some corners, which I've done without issues, they'll be fine. But taking it to an actual track again, I'm gonna have to address that and put a catch can on it. I have the stuff, I just haven't gotten around to it as far as the catch can goes. John, bring the V10 Ram to the channel. That's the plan. That's the plan. Like I said, I don't want to leave it outside. So I think once we clear this out, you know, we get the new project vehicle, whether it's Corvette or something, get that kind of underway. The Ram will be coming, hopefully, I want to say summer or fall, the Ram will be here. So don't get discouraged, guys. Mopar is not going anywhere. We still have the Ram SRT10 and the Viper too. Will you delete all the content from the Ram build after you sell it? Hell no, we are not deleting all that content, you guys. All the Ram stuff is staying up for sure. That's the reason why I did it. I feel like I made like a library, like an index of all the major things that you could do to these trucks. I'm not saying I covered everything, because there's some other, and I don't want to discredit anybody, there's some other guys that have done some stuff that I haven't. Custom Black Guns, he's done all the auxiliary switches for the 4th gens and a bunch of other stuff too. And he's covered some of the lifted stuff too for these trucks. So like I said, not to discredit anybody, but I think I have a very big library of 4th gen Ram stuff. And yeah, I definitely won't be deleting any of that stuff. So I put it up there so that people can reference it as these trucks get cheaper also. As the price starts to come down with the newer models coming out, it's just gonna be more people that are gonna be looking at how to do things, modify them, or maintain them. So I'm leaving all that stuff up, don't worry. Turbo setup for the Ram. Yeah, so I would definitely put it, if I was gonna go like build a Ram, one of these 1500s, a 4th gen, to try and be as fast as possible, I would definitely turbo it. I don't know if I would do single or twin, but I would definitely turbo it. Like I said, the supercharger is kind of, the ProCharger kit works, obviously, but I feel like it's left a lot to be desired, and honestly, it wouldn't be that hard to put a single or a twin turbo on this thing with the way it's set up, and there's so much room. So like I said, the amount of money that is spent on a ProCharger, I think a good turbo kit could be done for. I don't even know how you say your name. Gizelnias. Get a Civic. I've had so many, like, that was my high school days, you guys. Growing up, messing around with Civics, I was like right in that era when everybody had like, you know, 94 to 01 Civics and Del Sols and Acura Integras. So that's what, I mean, I can laugh about it now, but that was actually what got me into this whole modding thing. And it was good because back then all that Honda stuff was so cheap and we could just mess with it. And if we broke stuff, it didn't matter. So, you know, swapping engines, building Frankenstein motors, putting heads from other vehicles onto, or other cars. We used to put like heads from, or sorry, blocks from CRVs with a Civic head on it, B20 VTEC, and do all sorts of stuff. And yeah, it got us in the cars. It got us messing around with stuff. And here we are today, you know, playing with some more serious stuff. So, but yeah, that stuff's all in my past as far as messing with Civics. If I were to get another Honda, it would have to be either an NSX or get another S2000 just to play with at the track, because those things are track weapons. Maybe not so much in a drag, because you know, 6 speeds, not really gonna do much for you. But as far as road course, the S2000 is actually a pretty good track car. Are you gonna sell the fifth? Am I gonna get the new 5th gen Ram? Sorry. Like I was mentioning earlier, we're not gonna get the 5th gen Ram immediately. I'm gonna wait till a few years in, see what kind of engine options come up. Because right now they're just, I think they released the chassis. This is the way, if you guys haven't noticed, this is the way Dodge, you guys are gonna get mad. It's the way Dodge or Ram does their platform. So they'll come out with a platform and they'll get like, how many years would I say? They'll get like 3-4 years in, give or take, somewhere around there, like 3 to 5 years in, and then they'll do a refresh and they'll come out with different options and kind of make it better. So if you look, like the life cycle is almost 10 years with the exception of the 3rd gen. So 2nd gen Ram went from, I think, 94 to 02. 01, 02 was kind of a mixed year. And then in 02, they came out with the 3rd gen, and that went to 08, 09. The 2500 still had a carryover. So you figure about 7-8 years, and then 09 to 12. So what we have, 09, 10, 11, 12, 4 years. And then they came out with the 13 to 18, right? So mark my words, if you guys watch, and even with the 2nd gen stuff, it went 94 to 98, and then 99 they did a refresh on the 2nd gen stuff. So they're pretty strategic with what they do, and they get everybody excited doing it that way. So watch, about like 3-4 years, they're gonna refresh the 5th gen, and they'll come out with, it'll be the same body, but they'll change the grille, they'll change some stuff about the lights, change the bumper, and they'll add other options in it. So mark my words, you guys heard it here first. So I kind of want to wait till around that year when they get things sorted out, they get the platform sorted out, and then they do the refresh. That's when I think will be the best time to buy, once they work out all the bugs and they come out with better options. What up? With HP tuners, do you still have to get the PCM unlocked for a tune? Yeah, anything 2015 and up, doesn't matter if you go HP tuners, Diablo Sport, you're gonna have to get it unlocked. But there's a bunch of companies that do it. HP will unlock it for you. But yeah, or I think you can purchase a unlocked one and have a spare. But either way, you're gonna have to have an unlocked PCM if you're 2015 and up. Buy a cheap, crusty car. Corvette isn't a drag car. Yeah, but so I guess Mark, is it Mark? Yeah. Mark, to your point, I kind of want to have both. So I know I haven't shown too much of it on this channel, but I like to go and do road course stuff. And there's so many epic road courses that are in this area that I want to hit. So that's one of the reasons why I want to get the Vet, because I feel like we could go to the drag strip or go to the road course. Yes, it might not be the optimal drag strip car, but it's a light car at the same time. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. I don't know which way to go. Like, we could do 100% drag race, but I'm telling you guys, I like to do the road course stuff. Maybe I'll tweak the the Viper a little bit more to get it more tailored to the road course stuff, but it's just an expensive car to operate on road course. That's kind of where I'm at. So I kind of want to get something that we can do both with, but I'm still kind of undecided on which one that's going to be. We got a couple guys from British Columbia here. Justin as well. Yeah, I like the Corvette over the Camaro too, you guys. Even though I think the Camaro is probably a better sorted out car and the interior is nicer, that Vet is just something else. I don't know. I know there's a lot of Mopar guys on here, but that Vet is still a nice car. Yes, their Diamond doesn't. Yes, the Viper's more rare, cooler, whatever. But yeah, that Vet is nice. And one of the reasons why I do want to get the Vet is because it's so common. If something happens at the track, I'm not going to be as concerned because I can find parts everywhere. So that's part of the appeal of the Vet too. Let's see. Camaro sucks. Which performance mods do you recommend to start with on a stock 5.7, like top 5? First things first, I would do an intake. Intake is gonna give you a tiny bit of power, and at the same time, it's gonna give you some sound. So from there, I feel like an intake is probably number 1 on my list. So like I said, it's gonna give you those two things, a little bit of power, a little bit of sound, and you can decide if you want an exhaust. There's a lot of, you can go through tons of reviews on exhaust on these trucks. A lot of them have drone. If it's your daily or you tow with it, exhausts drone gets a little bit annoying after a while. So I would start with there, then maybe do a bolt-in muffler. After that, throttle body is not a bad idea. There's a bunch of options, whether it's ported or bored, like some of the ones that I was showing you guys. And then a tune. I would start with those 3, go to a tune. I think, what are we at, 4? What would be the last one? I would do some lighting upgrades. I know it's not performance, but it definitely is a nice touch. So I think those would be my top 5. Adam says, thanks for the response. Headers, then tune. Yep. Sam says, whatever happened with the knock sensor thing off the Stage 8 fasteners? Any recommendations for new studs? So I didn't, with that knock sensor issue with the Stage 8, I didn't actually completely remove the Stage 8 fasteners. All I did was remove the lock washers off them. So yeah, I still left the bolts, but I just took the lock washer and the circlip, like that kind of tab thing. I think it might be here. But yeah, I took the tab off, and then I took off the circlip and just left the actual bolt, because those bolts are plenty strong and good. What else we got here? What about tuning the Viper? HP Tuners only supports the 03 and up Viper currently. So unfortunately, I can't tune the Viper since it's a 2000 with HP Tuners. So yeah, I'm gonna have to look at tuning that, but it's not supported right now from HP Tuners. So maybe I'll have to get a newer Viper so that we can tune that thing. Is there someone that could help me out with an HP tuner that you recommend? I'm local. You can get a lot of remote tunes, not to plug in specifically. Do your own research, of course, but the HP tuner that we've used was Jay Green. So Jay Green has been pretty good and he's pretty well known, but I'll let you do the research and decide who you want to use. But he's the one that's been tuning this thing, and he's gotten some good results, and I'm sure other people can speak highly of him as well. What else? Where did you get your hood? My hood's stock, so that's a stock sport hood that's on the truck. So I didn't get it anywhere. It came with the hood. Do you still have the electric fan installed? Yeah, so I still have the V6 electric fan. That was a good improvement too. That gave me better gas mileage, made the truck a little less lazy, and I would definitely recommend putting an electric fan on, the V6 electric fan specifically. Angel says, what do you do for a living? I'm in a few things, but I'll save that for a separate video. I don't know how personal I want to get just with that stuff, but yeah, I mean, I do a bunch of different things, but I'm in management, so I'll leave it at that. But I'll get into it later with you guys as far as exactly what I do. But a lot of the ways that I afford to pay for all these things and mods is I've done some other videos, but they weren't really watched too much. Is the way that I source out parts for these things is pretty strategic, and it allows me to afford things that's maybe somebody that was making a similar income couldn't if they didn't do it that way. So even with this truck, like I purchased the truck at a good price, and it wasn't nearly what probably most people pay for a 4th gen. So being very strategic and good with your money is what's getting, you know, all this stuff modded. So yeah, I did a separate video on that, but maybe I'll touch on that subject again too for you guys. Vaughn Guitars. Hold on. What happened here? It disappeared. Vaughn Guitar says, when you lowered the truck, how much suspension travel did you lose? Did it limit the amount of truck you can carry? No, I don't know. I didn't. When I lowered it, I haven't towed or anything with it yet, but if you're gonna tow, I honestly wouldn't do it. I know there's some people saying they can put airbags in the back and accommodate for it, but I honestly wouldn't. There's been a few like kind of G'd out situations where I've hit bumps and you can hear it clunk, so it bottoms out even though there's bump stops and stuff on there. So even though like the physical travel like between the actual wheel and fender is there is bump stops that are there, so when the axle comes up, it touches on these bump stops and pads for against the frame to limit it. And if you like hit a big bump like a good one, or it's like kind of like a G'd out one where it kind of wallops, you'll hear it kind of clunk on it. It's not like gruesome or anything, but it definitely hits. So, but I don't know. I like the way it handles. It handles better, and I don't know. I like it, but as far as being practical, I don't know if I'd completely agree. Late to the party, I'm here though. What's up, fellas? What's going on, man? Don't worry. Like I said, it was kind of a little bit last minute, the Friday night thing, and it's kind of hard for me to judge exactly what time I'm gonna get home and be able to do this. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, like whether you guys want to do this often, whether it's a Friday or a Saturday or a Sunday night. Let me know what day. I don't know. I know everybody's gonna have a different answer, but we'll try to get a general consensus on when we want to do this stuff, or we kind of just, you know, shoot it and talk and talk about trucks, cars, whatever, and go from there. Because I kind of like this format. It's more interactive, I find. I know I do my best to respond in the actual videos, the comments, but this like kind of live freestyle thing is kind of cool too. Justin, let us know what parts you plan to sell on the Ram. Everything, man. It's all coming off. So the truck's going back to 100% stock. If we run a good time this weekend, that'll be happening next weekend, sorry. The truck will be going back to stock, and it's gonna be cool. So as strange as this sounds, I think it's gonna be kind of fun taking it apart. I'm gonna make segment videos of taking it apart, and also you guys can let me know what you think, but I was going to do like a live stream because I think I could probably get it done in about 1 or 2 days. So maybe just stream live of us just, you know, going to town, taking it all out, and you guys can watch it, pop in throughout the weekend and see where we're at with the whole removal thing. But let me know what you guys think of that. I think it's gonna be fun putting it back to stock and getting it all done, and then we'll just show like all the parts that were on the Ram. We'll lay them out on the floor and see what we got. Let's see what else. You keep saying Corvette, so are you getting it? Yeah, that's the plan, but in order to get the Vet, I gotta finish the build on the Ram, and then we'll put it back to stock, trade it in or sell it, and then those funds can get diverted to a new project. So like I said, I'm not made of money, so I gotta have to finish one project before we can move on to the next. I can't like have like 10 cars. I don't have the means. I wish I could say I did, but I don't have that kind of fun to do that. So yeah, we have to finish the truck build, disassemble it, part it out, recoup the money out of the truck before we can get the next vehicle, which at this point looks like it's gonna be a Vet, but we'll see when the time comes. Let's see what else we got. With long tube headers, would you recommend wrapping or not wrapping them? It depends. The long tubes are a little bit more concealed. Like you guys have probably seen, well, even if you watch my videos, the shorty headers, they're like pretzels, right? And they're pretty big because they have to sit there and do all their loops within the engine bay before they connect right to the Y pipe. Whereas the long tubes, they kind of just come right out and then they go straight across, right? Go straight across, and they're all extended like down out the bottom of the truck. So it's not as crucial to wrap the long tubes. Another good thing for you if you're wrapping long tubes is they're easier to wrap. So the long tubes are just gonna pretty much come out and go straight down, and you can sit there and just wrap it along. It's not gonna be as hard as those pretzels that I was wrapping for that video. It's just gonna be very basic for you guys to wrap it if you wanna do it. I wouldn't say it's completely necessary. It's probably not a bad idea. Keeps the heat in the engine bay down and, you know, maybe melting something if you get the thing really hot, but I don't think it's as crucial to do it with long tubes as it is to do it with the shorties. Let's see. Yeah, so you can, I guess Eric's already read, you can ceramic coat them too. Only thing is just be careful with who you pick for the ceramic coating. I know Jet Hot's a pretty popular company, but just research some of the reviews. I've heard some people say that they've sent them out to get coated from some companies, spent an arm and a leg. Obviously, if you're sending long tubes, you'll fall over when you see how much it is to ship them. You're gonna ship them there and ship them back. And it ends up being pretty pricey, all said and done. Like a lot of people are saying, like by the time they ship the headers to get them, coated and got them back, like it was almost the same amount that it was to purchase the headers themselves. Some of the header companies, they'll offer an option to pay a tiny bit more to get them coated. I would spring for that, because then you're not doing the back and forth shipping thing. Because look into it and you'll be surprised at how much it'll cost. Because like I said, especially when you're talking 2 V8 headers that are like, massively big, especially with a truck that are even longer. Yeah, just watch out if that's the route you're gonna go. Let's see. How much for your tuner? Justin, I don't know if you mean like my tuner or the tuner. I guess I'll answer both. If you're talking the HP tuners, you're gonna have to buy the actual MPVI2, so the unit, physical unit. You have to double check on pricing. I don't know off the top of my head. And then you'll have to buy the credits. So they kind of break it up depending on what you want to do. So if you want to just tune the engine, that's so many credits. If you want to tune the transmission, that's so many credits. So you'll have to buy the tuner, the credits to tune your vehicle, and that's it. If you're talking tuner, I don't know what the rates seem to go up every once in a while. I think it's like a few $100 for like a bolt-on simple tune. And what they'll do is you'll tell them a list of mods, you'll send it to them, what your setup is, and then they'll send you the file back based on what you tell them. And you could be done right there and just be happy with it. But if you want to take it up a notch, make it a little bit better, then you'll do some data logging. And what that means is you'll record with your tuner. So you'll record what the engine's doing, and you'll save that file and you'll send it back to your tuner. They'll look at it, see where things are, tweak it, and then they'll send you another file back. So a lot of the online tuners will do that. So you can go back and forth with the file and you'll improve your setup, improve your tune, get more power out of that way. But it's going to take more work both on your side and the tuner side. So just be aware for that. But hopefully that answers your question. Eric says, how much for the Beltec suspension and shocks? I don't know. I haven't put a price on all this stuff, you guys. I don't want to blurt out pricing right now because I honestly don't know off the top of my head what some of this stuff is worth without looking at what other people are selling for or how much it is new. So once that actually comes off the vehicle, then I'll take a look. I'll see what it's worth, see what it is online, and then I'll base my pricing off that, something that's fair for everybody. So I don't know yet as far as pricing. So, but yeah, it will all be for sale shortly. Would you be willing to sell me your hood? I have the exact same truck color, everything. I would look for a sport hood. I don't think I'm gonna take the hood off. I want to keep I don't want to like, even though the truck's kind of getting neutered and put back to stock, I at least want to put it back to stock, which is with that hood. So, but one thing I should probably offer you guys is my hood. The sport hood is actually a true vented hood. So I should probably offer that up. That's some sort of exchange program. I don't even want to call it a program, but maybe if you guys give me a few bucks or something and you guys send me your stock grills, the hood inserts, and I'll send you mine back, because those ones, honestly, I'm not even exaggerating, it took me like at least a good day to sit there and carve out every single honeycomb on that hood and make them actually functional. But I want to see them go to good use. So because my sport hood is actually a true vented hood. I made a video a while back on how to do it, but it just takes forever. But it looks amazing. It looks stock, but it would be cool. I'd like wherever the truck ends up going, I don't think they're gonna be too concerned with that. So maybe I'll offer those for sale too. What do I think of Eastwood MIG welders? I don't know too much about welding, to be completely honest with you guys. Yeah, I don't know. I've messed around with some MIG welders, but I'm really not an expert at welders, so I wouldn't know. I just know like the big companies like Miller or Lincoln. Those are the two that I know that are good brands, but Eastwood, I'm not sure. What else we got? Alfonso says, yo, is this really live? Yes, it's live. Justin, yes, it's live. Andrew says, HP Tuners shout out. What's up, Andrew? Jeremy, the best. SSH, excited to see the new project no matter what it is. It's much more interesting to see someone do these types of projects at home and learn from them rather than channels where they have. Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you. That's what I'm trying to do. So I'm trying to be a little bit different on YouTube. I know, like I was mentioning earlier with the Hellcat stuff, like there's some stuff that's just so overdone. And not, like I said, not to discredit some of those other YouTubers, because I mean, they're doing a good job and some of them are even making a living off of this. So they're definitely doing something right, but their channels consist of them, you know, waking up, brushing their teeth, walking through and into their garage, getting in their car and driving to somebody else, and then kind of just like blabbing around while somebody else works on their car. They jump in it, drive it over to their buddy's house, then go somewhere else. I want to show you guys how you can do this stuff. So that way, two things can happen. Either you can tackle it yourself. Hopefully I'm doing a good enough job that I'll motivate you guys to tackle it yourself. Or if you don't want to do it yourself, whether it's because you literally don't want to do it, you know, rather not be bothered, or you're just not comfortable with it, if you go to a shop, you know what they're supposed to be doing or how it goes together. So you can make sure you're not getting screwed over and that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. So hopefully you guys find some value in that. That's kind of my angle on this stuff. And I mean, I should have done this sooner because I've done a lot more builds in the past before this. But I'm just getting the hang of this whole YouTube thing and trying to put it in a format that I think works for everybody and works for myself. But yeah, I want to do this with more vehicles. So once I kind of cover a bunch of topics of the common maintenance, so we got engine, transmission, differential. Those are the three major fluids on this truck. Those are all covered, and then you guys already know how many other things we've covered. So I want to do that with the next project. I think it's gonna be fun. Let's see. Mighty Mouse, how sharp is the cutoff line with your HIDs on the Viper? My stock projectors seem to have a really crappy cutoff. I think I'm going to retrofit some LED projectors into my housings. Yeah, definitely put some better projectors in there. I know that there's lots of threads, and I've seen them before about upgrading the projectors because they're definitely not good on the Viper. Mine's not any better, so you're not alone in that regard. I mean, it's like an old school projector. What are those things from? I don't think they changed it right from 92 all the way to 02. And to have projectors in 1992 is a pretty big deal. So I don't think they're that good, to be honest. I would replace them. And I've seen ones where you can actually bolt it in. You don't have to unglue the headlight. You can actually go into the back and there's like 4 screws where they pull it out and they put a new projector in. So I would look into those. I can't remember who makes them, but I know they exist. Hanks S2000 or Hanks 2000. I enjoy your vids. Thanks for sharing. Thanks, man. Again, thanks for the support. You know, not just you, but everybody. You know, thanks again for the support. Like I said, I don't want to make my videos just about, you know, talking about the channel and stuff. I want to keep it onto the content, but you know, I do appreciate, you know, everybody that watches the videos, everybody that gives thumbs up, everybody that subscribes, everybody that chimes in, you know, to these live last minute videos or comments on them. Again, thank you. It's what makes this channel exist, and it's what's carrying it to the next level. So I'm excited to see where it goes. We're almost there. So once we actually hit 25,000, HP Tuners is going to be giving up, I think it's around $100 gift card, online coupon code, and we're going to be giving that away soon too. So I'm excited to do that for you guys, and we're going to be doing a bunch of those. So pretty much every month, which I'm hoping, as long as you guys help me with this, every month HP Tuners is going to back us up with giving away like a $100 gift card or gift certificate where you just go online with the coupon code that I'll give you. But we need to step things up too to get this thing cracking. So it's not just me that's doing this. You know, the sponsors want to back us up, but you know, we got to show them that we're growing and we got the exposure that they need, and that they're, you know, they're getting something for what they're putting in, right? So the more exposure we give them, the more stuff that they're going to give back to us and, you know, give back to you guys. And like I said, I'm just going to give it right back to you guys. So yeah, let's try to get to 25. We'll keep going to the next 25,000 followers or subscribers. And we'll just keep going and see how far we can take this thing. I'm hoping that switching to a different build is gonna kind of bump things up. I've done so much on the truck that I think starting a new build is gonna bring a different crowd of people. And hopefully you guys will stick along for the ride, and we'll just keep plugging away. See what else you guys got. 24s going back on. Yeah, the 24s are sitting right here, literally. I'll spin this for a second. So we got 24s and we have the slicks right here ready to go, but they will be going back on too. It just depends. I mean, if we end up wrapping up this build, I want to do some videos and kind of like some, I don't know, I want to try to do some cinematic stuff with the drone and stuff once we finally wrap up the build, but 24s will be going on for those videos. I'll trade you my RT hood vents when we make the Pro Charger deal. Okay, yeah, we'll figure all that stuff out. Like I said, I don't want to turn the focus on this video to strictly parting the truck out. It's almost like we shouldn't do it in front of the truck. It's gonna hear us and it's gonna get sad. But yeah, we'll do the part out. It's gonna happen. So in order for us to get the next build, it's gonna have to happen either way. Let's see. Do most of the work for them. Still love the channel. Fun and inspiring. Do most of the work for them. I don't know what you mean, but yeah. Like I said, some of the stuff I do, I don't expect everybody to like tackle a Pro Charger install or something crazy in their garage, but hopefully you guys enjoy it, and taking you guys along for the ride and what we're doing in the vehicles is half the fun for me. I enjoy it, honestly. It's not work for me doing this stuff. It's just, I'm gonna do it regardless because it's my passion, and filming it is just more fun and actually helps to support doing it, right? Like if I just did what I'm doing, companies like HP Tuners or the Tuning School or any other ones that support us, they wouldn't support, they wouldn't know about us, they wouldn't know about the build, and none of this would happen. So I'm grateful, I'm thankful, and it's because of you guys, so thank you. So is everything gonna be first come first serve? Everybody still wants to just be savages. Like, I feel like this is like the Finding Nemo seagulls with the everybody fighting over the parts. Yeah, like I said, as things come off, it might just be like one weekend we take everything off. But yeah, once it comes off, I'll post it up. Just make sure you guys are following on Facebook, because honestly, that's probably where it's gonna be posted for sale. So make sure you join and following the group, the Boosted Motorsports group, because honestly, that's where probably this stuff will go, be exposed and that it's up for sale, because you can't really do stuff like that on YouTube where you're like making like a for sale post. So make sure you're joining those groups if you're interested in some parts. Mark said, is Harbor Freight your favorite store? Yes. No, it's not my favorite store, but honestly, for the price, like, it's hooked me up with a bunch of tools for affordable price. Yes, it's not the highest quality, but it's functional. It gets the job done. So yeah, I don't mind their stuff. But yeah, I'll fully agree, or I'll be the first to admit that it's not the highest quality. Let's see. What LED lights do you recommend for the projector headlights? Definitely don't do LED. Check out that video. Go HID if you have projectors. Yeah, I originally did a LED setup, but check out the video, because originally we did LED, but we switched to HID because it's much brighter, much better. So definitely go HID. Alfonso said, I don't think I've been with you live. Good work on everything. Thanks, Alfonso. Like I said, I'm doing my best here, but I like doing the live thing. It's pretty fun. Like I said, I get to kind of kick it with you guys and go back and forth in a live manner, and I don't have to edit. Also, whatever you see is what you see. Editing I've gotten pretty fast at editing, but it's still a process that I get to skip if we go live. Dancy says, that's awesome. That's why I love your channel. I fixed my own SIHT. Thanks to you. Thanks, Dancy, for the support. That's what I like to hear, that you guys are actually fixing your own stuff and finding the videos helpful. I know some of the stuff is pretty basic, like oil change. But again, there's some, all the way from an oil change to changing a bulb, all the way to putting a Pro Charger. Whether you're, just keeping it basic and doing maintenance, or you want to go crazy with your truck, we got a bunch of stuff covered. So I'm going to do that with the next vehicle also. Charles says 12,000 for the Viper. Sold. No, that offer was pretty ridiculous, the 11 grand. I know it's got a little bit higher miles on it and stuff, but I don't know. I wasn't sure what to expect, but we did it for fun. It wasn't that we were actually going to trade it in, but since we were there in the Viper, figured we'd take a crack at it since everybody on YouTube wants to always see what CarMax offers people, and that's what they offered, but oh well. Works Guy says, hey guy, can I have 2010 Honda Civic Si and would like to get my throttle body ported and polished would be awesome if it's able to happen. Yeah, I don't do like throttle body porting for like a bunch of different vehicles. I just messed around with this one. I had a guy, you know, I kind of did some R&D with one gentleman on this truck, so I've been pumping out a few more, but yeah, I don't do them myself or anything like that. So I only have the ones with the 5.7. Mighty Mouse says, I've done a few retrofits. Did one on the Ram too. Guess I'll do it on the Viper. After I get out to LA, might have to collaborate. Yeah, definitely hit me up if you're local, or if you come out here. I'm not a stranger. I'm not like one of these like, you know, superstar YouTubers. If you guys are ever in the area, you guys want to kick it, just hit me up on Instagram or on Facebook. And yeah, I'm pretty normal, I think. Works Guy. Oh, Andrew said, JDM Star, nice LED. Yeah, they have good stuff too. But I just wouldn't do LED on the projectors, that's all. Because the factory projectors on this truck don't do the best with LED. Next question. Works Guy said, yeah, I want to do a dyno tune right after and see what happens. I have ported and polished RBC intake manifold and made good power. I think, yeah, I mean, definitely dynos, you know, can't go wrong with a dyno tune, porting and polishing. I know there's guys that do it on this vehicle as well. I just haven't gotten into it with this one necessarily. I did on my old vehicles, but because we have forced induction, it's kind of just ramming air, you know, go figure, no pun intended, but it's ramming air down into the intake. So porting and polishing isn't as crucial as it would be with a naturally aspirated vehicle either. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just going through the questions. I'm just trying to differentiate between people like talking back and forth and actual questions too. But it's cool. You guys, you know, have at it, whether you guys are having your own conversations or we're having one here. You know, I'm cool with either or. How much does it cost? Let's see. Hopefully I don't skip anybody here. I'm just trying to sift through some of the stuff. Eric says, HP tuners are badass. Got it on my 08 Vet. Also, your videos are very informative and easy to understand. Great reference, and you don't BS. That's what I try to do, guys. I try to, you know, give it to you straight. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. Yeah, I mean, if something works, I'll tell you. If it doesn't work, I'll tell you. You know, I'll show you how it's done. You know, I'm not claiming that I'm like the most experienced person in the world, but I know my way around a vehicle, and I'll gladly share that experience and me putting it on. Whether I do something and I fail at it, or we do something and I feel like it's, you know, something that you guys can follow along and do too, we're gonna post it all. So I'm not perfect. Some of the stuff that we do might not work, but at the same time we'll document it, and you know, we'll go along, we'll learn together at the same time, and we'll go along for the ride. Let's see. SSH says, I love a lot of the performance-oriented Mopar vehicles, but I'm sure you'll get more viewers with a project featuring a more common and popular car. Yeah, I mean, SSH asked that question. It's kind of weird. It's like, if you post a common car, that doesn't necessarily happen, because I've posted a few, you know, DIY videos on the Jetta, just the daily beater, and that's probably one of the most common cars as they get, but there's not a lot of interest there in that, and those videos don't really get a whole lot of views either. So it's kind of like this fine balance between something that's performance and something that people work on or that they would Google or try to search for. So A lot of people seem to want to do stuff to their truck, which is how we end up getting here today. I had a bunch of videos on a rare car, the Viper, and nobody watched it because a lot of people that have Vipers, I know there's a few Viper guys in the comments here, but on this live video, but most Viper owners don't work on their car, let alone do they even drive their car. They just sits in the garage and they just stare at it. Might be some really old person that just comes out, looks at it. Maybe he's wealthy, just to say he has one and that's it, but never works on it. So I've kind of realized that with the Viper. It's rare, yes, but a lot of people don't take an interest in it. Part of the reason probably why that's, the Viper doesn't exist anymore either. Alfonso says, what's up, man? Once I got my 13 Ram, I've been seeing your vids. Yeah, thanks again for the support. Hopefully you guys find the channel helpful with a lot of the content we have so far, but we're not stopping here. I'm going to cover a few more things that I want to wrap up on the truck, but I don't know. I don't know if the truck's going to be here for like a few more weeks or, maybe a couple months. It really depends how soon we can get the, drag strip stuff wrapped up and then actually, put it back to stock and move on. Moparholics, what's up, John? I'll be wrapping and installing BFC headers on my Ram, and your vids will be running while I do it. Thanks, man. Yeah, again, guys, thanks for the support and everything you guys have been doing for the channel. And like I said, on all the videos too, just small, requests. Make sure you give it a thumbs up. It does help the channel. It helps push the videos up in searches and whatnot. And it just shows me I'm doing a good job. Even though it's kind of an extra step, if you guys can take that extra step and give it a thumbs up, it does help the channel. It gives me some feedback on whether I did a good job. And I appreciate it all the time, you guys. Irfan says, hello. Hello back. All right, guys, so we've been running for a while. It's, 70 minutes? I think we'll probably wrap it up here. So here's the plan. I'll just wrap it up with that. The truck, hopefully we're gonna go tomorrow as long as it stops raining. I don't know, I'm inside, but as long as it stops raining, we'll have a video tomorrow. We'll definitely have a video either way, but I'm gonna go to the track tomorrow, hopefully set that time. And I'll let you guys know what happens there. So that's the plan. Or if it doesn't rain Sunday, we'll go Sunday, but we're ready to go. Drive shaft loop is on, installed. Slicks are right there. Hopefully it can happen. That's that. And then if we wrap things up this weekend, next weekend, we'll end up putting the truck back to stock. And then we can look at whether we're going to trade the truck in on something or whether we're just going to post it up for sale as a bone stock truck. That's it for the truck. The Viper, we have to put a new gasket on the thermostat housing, so that needs to be done. So I'll have a video on that, and that's pretty much it as far as the two vehicles. And I want to do some other stuff. I kind of have to button up some loose ends in the garage because you guys saw we had this thing upside down. So kind of where we're at. I'll have some different videos, different variations of stuff, whether it's kind of finishing up the garage, working on the truck, racing the truck, putting it back to stock. That's what you guys can expect to come. Once we hit 25,000, we got that HP Tuners giveaway happening. And yeah, the Viper's just about back on the road. So just got to wrap up some registration stuff since it's been off the road for so long, and then we'll be ripping it around. So anyways, you guys, it's going to do it for today's video. Like I said, if you guys like this video or any video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Also, any of the videos that you guys enjoy, feel free, or, you guys can help me out by sharing them where you guys think they might help other people, or let people know about this channel. The faster we grow, the more the channel can generate, the more funds we can have, and start playing with all this stuff. So anyways, you guys, thanks again for the support. Can't tell you how much I appreciate it to you guys, but anyways, we'll see you in the next video. Let's hope that it doesn't rain tomorrow, and maybe even Sunday, and we can hopefully wrap this thing up. All right, you guys, we'll see you on the